I'm a beast, got jungle fever. Don't smoke, but a breakdown. The chiva. Feel my senorita, you should be her. Buenos dias, clean up, bitch impressed with stock beamers. I want property dual citizen with the visa. My niggas Ninja Turtles, call me Martrice. Sensei, not to mold me a nigga, get out.
Hey, what's up with it? This is your host with the most. This is Bella Martrice, and welcome to Ghetto Poet Podcast Radio. So I'm here at Edge Studios with my producer Paul. Say hi, Paul.
What's happening, Bella?
Okay, so we here. This is going to be my first episode. Excuse my French, but so this is my first episode. So what I'm going to be talking about is what Ghetto Poet is. So Ghetto Poet Radio Podcast is a place for myself and my listeners to come in and interact with each other, because I'm ghetto, and what I did was I transformed my ghetto into art. Just like I did that sentence. So therefore, that's one of the things I really want to do. Is like a lot of people want to struggle, whether it be mental health, whether it be financial. You know, we all going through things, and I want to be able to share our triumph, but I also want to be able to share our, our pains and what we really going through as humans, and having a safe space to do it. So I'm your host, Bella Martrice. We at Edge Studios. I want to thank my listeners and people who have supported me from day one. You know, my day ones, you feel me? That's out there that stay rocking with me. And hello to the new people that's just coming on. I could be a little shy sometimes, so don't judge me. I don't care if you do, though. So this is me.
You mentioned the struggle. The struggle sometimes is what shapes our art, right, Miss Bella?
Absolutely.
So how has your struggles shaped your art?
For one, it made me more creative because I defined avenues in order to express myself, and also how to interpret different people. So since I was so familiar with pain, I think there was points and times to where pain united me and people. I could see where their pain was. It made me more empathetic and resilient. So therefore, I inspire for people to be resilient.
That probably helps you find your people too, as in other artists that you can really jive with or really connect with, right? And also with friends and relationships in life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know perfection is not an option, and I think art is imperfection. So therefore, for me, it's like ghetto poets, like being from, like people always talk about socioeconomic status as meaning ghetto. Sometimes it's, disenfranchisement. Sometimes it's a lack of being given opportunities or even equal opportunities. And it could be just coming from anywhere. So I feel like with this platform, what I really want to do is show the artists that aren't generally heard in the media, people that are silenced.
Kind of marginalized artists, right? The ones that are struggling to be heard, the ones that are wanting to get their stuff out there.
Absolutely, but I really want to see people with a message, or help people to be inspired to develop their message. Because I think sometimes people forget that we are all living art. So therefore, we're going to grow, we're going to shed, we're going to thrive. Pieces of us are going to die,
And every day is different, right?
Absolutely.
So what kind of things move you as an artist when you look at other forms of art, poetry or music, or what's the things that really kind of get you going?
Well, for one, a lot of, I love rap. I grew up on rap.
Mm-hmm.
I was also raised in church. So therefore, it's an interesting thing, but it's like, you go to church and you hear the songs in church and like you're inspired in church. It's all passionate and soulful. Then you hear rap. And rap is actually an acronym meaning rhythm and poetry.
Right.
So while you're in church also, like a lot of the Bible's written in poems. So therefore, it's like...
Gospel is really
poems.
Right.
So therefore, I feel like, especially within our culture, is that the poets are often like forgot about. Like we aren't contributors to society, to where I feel like, if anything, like we some of the hard hitters of society.
Do you feel like sometimes you're in a kitchen making some fusion food?
Yeah, without all the right ingredients.
What do you mean? Yeah. It seems like you have a lot of the right ingredients. You might be the ghetto poet, but you've got a lot of different stuff in your gumbo going on, girl.
Exactly, and I think that's where the creativity comes from, is that you, of course, everybody have different ingredients. And what I want to do is for people be able to share their ingredients and for us to be inspired by sharing different recipes. That was such a good analogy. But being able to share different recipes with each other and grow. Like, I really want this to be a network where people could increase their network off of networking. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Be able, because I feel like there's always this thing where people are like, oh yeah, you could be great. Well, teach me how. How did you become great? Could you give me a resource? Can you give me an opportunity? Can I give you an opportunity? Could we work together and really do so with morals, with integrity? And I think that's another thing. It's like, I'm a ghetto poet, and I think, a lot of times people think ghetto, they think no integrity. Nah, that's not true.
Sometimes it just means the grind.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, so that inspires you too when you see somebody that may not have all the resources that you've been blessed with, that they're still on the grind. They're still expressing themselves in the way that makes them feel free. Mm-hmm. And so what kind of artists are you going to share with us over the course of your podcast?
Well, shout out to my homeboy, Tongo Mongo. He's the current poet laureate of, San Francisco.
Okay.
But before he was a poet laureate, he would, come to my open mics on Haight Street in San Francisco, in my hood. Shout out Filmo. And, it was at Two Jacks, was a historically black, restaurant right in my neighborhood.
Right there in the Fillmore.
My grandmother's property, we still own it, like everything else like that. So therefore, that is my community. And, rest in peace to Lynn, but she was one of the people that helped me out with Ghetto Poet. So actually Ghetto Poet has started in the Fillmore on that block. And
you're going to continue this tradition,
absolutely. Though. So therefore, I'm going to have artists like Tongo Eisen Martin. I'm going to have one of my cousins, P.O.P. or whatever. He's so funny. He, you'll get a kick out of him. And he makes some killer cupcakes. But, no, he really do. I'm going to stay away from him.
Yeah, you already had me at the cupcakes. You had me at cupcakes. But, okay,
right.
So some musical artists. I know that you have a great passion for poetry.
Oh, I love poetry.
You also have a lot to do with other types of writing, too, different types of artistic writing. And that's
absolutely
what you always walk around. You have your notebook. You always got a pen in hand.
I do.
You're kind of like in that digital world, but you got that analog thing going on, right? You always got
absolutely
a pen and your paper next to you. What is your preferred way of expressing yourself? Is it grabbing a pen? Is it grabbing your phone? Or is it anything and everything you can get your hands on?
Anything, everything I could get my hands on. But it's something organic about me and a pen and a piece of paper, or even a plastic, a paper bag. Like, I feel like the sense of urgency will push anything into a piece of art. So I feel like, I've written on paper bags and I'm like holding it like Gollum. I'm like, my precious.
Well, yeah, you're talking to a comedian. You got to remember, I've written on everything from a Jack-in-a-Box bag from the drive-thru,
right,
to a napkin from the bar, to the back of my hand, right?
Right.
And so it's anything to make sure I don't forget that thought, because it always seems to happen. It always seems to happen when I'm not near paper or pen.
Right.
So what happens when mood strikes? You could be in the shower singing. You could be in the car singing. You could be... Go ahead.
And that's when, like, technology totally rings. Because I know with me or whatever, I'll be like... Because for me, being a poet and, like, doing rhythm and poetry at times or whatever, it's like, I don't have beats. So therefore, it's like... But I have to remember the way I said something. So then I'll take my iPhone and I can record myself.
There you
go. But you got to think, I'm 40 years old. So back in the day, like, I had a tape recorder.
So a lot of it is cadence, maybe, with you.
Yeah, a lot of it is
the pace of what you're, not only what you're saying, but the pace in which you're saying it.
Right, because the passion and things like that or the way I want somebody else to say something. Like, it might be something for a song, and I might need somebody singing like this, but if I just write it down or,
So we share another thing there. We share timing.
Right.
You got to have that timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so even with you, so you find yourself grabbing your phone, dictating into your phone. You find yourself trying to remember stuff. Do you sing things over and over to try to remember them? Like has anybody ever given you their phone number and you don't have a pen or your phone near you, and so you got to remember that's 877, whatever.
Other than Morris Day, 77. No.
I was just
I'm
going to
just
start singing
over
the Cars for Kids song, so I'm lucky.
Okay, yeah.
So I actually stopped.
Okay.
But that's good. So anything just to remember your original thought and what was going through your head at that time is kind of what you try to do.
Yeah, but I'm a picture drawer too. So it's like even within myself, I could be like a doctor writer to where there's times to where I'm like writing something, I'm trying to get it out,
right, and
I won't be able to read it. So therefore, I'll like put arrows and circle things and take pictures of things,
So when you listen to other artists perform, do you ever glean inspiration from there?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that's when I'm the most inspired.
Okay. And that's good. You should be able to listen to a song or watch a film or something and walk away with
or read a book.
And go, wow, I could change the world now.
Oh, no.
You don't know about that?
I think I can.
Yeah, well, you've written a book.
Well, 3.
You've written 3.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your latest book.
Okay, so my latest book is published through Poet Magazine, and it is poetry. It's actually The Poet's Promise Volume 2. And it's just like a journey. My poetry is my journal, basically.
Okay.
And it's a journey through my life at different points in my life that I just published. I run around, I perform it. We just came off of a book tour, and oh my God, we had so much fun.
Didn't you, I want to say you went down to L.A.?
Yeah. We went down to L.A., then we came back out here. We ended up performing. Our last stop was a Black Repertory Theater.
Okay. The Black Rep in right
Berkeley.
There. Yep.
That was dope. That was my second time being there. I actually went to a poetry, open mic there, and it was ran by Epitome, and I actually won the
well, look at you.
Yeah, I actually won
there you go.
I actually won the shirt, so I got an Epitome shirt.
Okay.
And so yeah, the book tour was awesome. Like I was with my Poor Magazine family, shout out Francis, shout out, Tiny, Lori. It's a bunch of us that got together, and it was so dope. It's like, cause Leroy, he's going to become a doctor. He's actually going to UCLA. I'm so proud of him because he's been my Poor Magazine family since I've been, a teenager. So, like, keeping those bonds strong. Like, you see I'm literally lighting up as I'm talking about my people.
Well, that's good. That's how it should be, right?
No, absolutely.
So, it looks like I'm really excited for all the fun things that you have in store for us. I'm guessing there's going to be a couple surprises along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're very colorful. You got a lot of colors.
I love colors. I've always been like that. I haven't, like, I was one of them kids they'd be like, what's your favorite color? And this week it'll be like blue, and next week, it'll be like orange, and people will be like, you're indecisive. I used to be like, no, I'm not. You're just basic.
I used to wear brighter colors. I'm actually not today, but I'll wear brighter colors. But my mom goes, "Oh, you always could do lighter colors," because I was thin at one point, and I can't do brighter colors. I look like I look like a clown sometimes. So I'm glad that some people can really do it. I used to wear really bright T-shirts on stage and stuff like that, and now it's all dark. I'm trying to slim down and look slimmer.
But you know what? I'm a bigger girl, and until I'm not, I'm just like, love it. If you don't like it, look away. I'm going to embrace what I have right at this moment, and that's another thing I want to talk about, things like that, like body image, positive body image, or even like the woke culture, like what it's doing, because I feel like even with the algorithms right now, like people are putting out podcasts dictated by listenership and popular culture opposed to what's real. They're regurgitating, certain topics. And one thing as a black woman that I've seen is just like a lot of negativity on the black women, to where it's like we don't get to speak about the mental health it's having on our children, the mental health it's having on us in the day-to-day lives. And as a black woman, that's something that I would like to counteract. I want to speak as a black woman, invite more black women voices to be uplifted in an environment that's right now they're really making a lot of money off of talking shit about black women.
Now, how can potential guests of your show and supporters of your show reach out to you in an email?
Okay, so my email is hella easy. Is Ghetto Poet, GhettoPoet 415 at gmail.com.
There you
Boom.
go. Now, where can we see your podcast? You're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Africa TV. You're Ghetto Poet 415 on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
You're Bella Martrice on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You're Martrice
Candler.
on Facebook, and then Ghetto's Poet
On Africa.
on Africa.
Right.
So anywhere podcasts can be seen or heard, you're going to be there.
I'm about to be there.
All
And
right.
so are you.
There you go. I'm looking forward to
And
it.
then too on Edge, www.edgestudios.
At gmail.com, and also Edge Studios on YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere else podcasts can be seen and heard.
Okay, boom. So I feel like we're pretty easy to find. Well, I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I usually tell people after watching me on stage, I go up, follow me on Twitter, Twitch, whatever, and also over to the bar because I need a drink. So that's usually what I'm doing. That's been a fun segment. That's a great intro. But you're going to be right back after this, and I know that we have more things in store, including your community calendar.
Woo!
And
Yeah,
some shout outs to friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. You got to tell them.
Peace.